Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another interview on Unhinged. And as you can see, I'm joined by Mario Pinto. An absolute pleasure. How are you, Mario?
I'm good, man. How are you, brother?
I'm doing fantastic. Even better now to have you on the show. We got a fantastic fight to talk about. It's going to be good.
100%, man. Let's go. Let's do it.
Absolutely. Firstly, though, I'd love to talk about obviously your professional career. Obviously, 7-0, fantastic start to your professional career. How good does it feel to cast your mind back when you're an amateur, thinking about going pro, thinking about everything that you can do, and now looking at yourself now, NFL heavyweight champion, 7-0, multiple highlight reel finishes. How good does that feel now?
I mean, it feels good, man, but I'm too hard on myself. I don't think it's good enough. So, do you know what I mean? I'm a perfectionist, so it's got to get better. It's got to get better.
What do you mean by you're too hot? Talk to me about that. What was missing? What would you have been happy with for you to look at it and yeah, happy with that then?
Oh, I wish I had more amateur experience.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I had more fights at amateur.
Yeah.
Yeah, more cage time, more work time. But you know what? You can't control these things. You got to just take it one fight at a time.
Exactly. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I think what it has showcased is you are a legit talent. And I'd love to talk about obviously that that experience and stuff like that. And the one experience I'd love to talk about is that NFL heavyweight Grand Prix.
Yeah.
That's incredible because if we cast our mind back to the 2000, 2004, MMA era, it was huge. Grand Prix were huge back then. We don't really see it in today's age and today's MMA. So how cool was it to kind of be in the Grand Prix, fighting 3 times in one night and winning the belt, obviously?
Bro, it was epic, man. All I was thinking about was back in the day in Pride and K1 days, man. So like, I think they need to push it more, bring it back. Like nothing could have been harder than that, having to fight 3 people in one day. Some people stress about one fight. I got to stress about 3 fights, and you can't perfect your style for one person.
Yeah.
So you just got to fight the way you do and just adjust on the fly. So I was really proud of myself for that, and I was excited, man. And I gained a lot of experience in that tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. Not only did you have technically 3 professional more fights, but fighting 3 times in one night, I couldn't
I know.
even imagine. How do you deal with potentially 3 fighters you got to fight? Is crazy. And you mentioned there, so obviously that would be something that you'd be interested in getting down in the future. I know obviously
Yeah,
not many people
100%.
do it anymore.
Yeah.
So I'd love to see it bring brought back. The only thing that I could probably think of maybe Ryzen. Obviously they're a
Yeah.
Japanese promotion.
Yeah.
Maybe they could do something like that.
Yeah, maybe I could push LFL to do it again as well.
Yeah, maybe all
Probably
that, all
after. I
that.
don't know.
He's maybe thinking about fighting 3 times in one night again.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'd love to talk about your last fight as well. I feel like it's good to kind of talk about the good things and obviously the bad things.
Yeah.
Obviously, you victory, you defended the belt, 3rd round stoppage. But I'd like to talk about that 1st round, and you mentioned this as well on your post-fight interview. You face adversity 1st time. Firstly, how does that feel to kind of face adversity? But the most important thing is, how does that feel to come through it and obviously go on and win the fight? What does that prove to yourself?
I needed that, man. That's the experience I needed. Like again, just another thing to prove to myself that I'm in a good place and I'm where I'm supposed to be as a fighter in my career. And a lot of guys they want to fight on these big shows or go to like the UFC, PFL, and then when they're dealt with adversity for the first time, they crumble under pressure, and I don't want that. As I progress in my career, I want to be prepared for all these shocks and take them out.
Absolutely. We'll talk about your next assignment. Obviously, we've got a fantastic one. LFL Heavyweight Championship, another defense of your belt. February 18th is going to be a good one. You'll be taking on the Turkish KASIM ARAS, who literally fought last night, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you've seen it, but he did win, fortunately.
Nice.
Obviously, so I'd love to talk about that matchup. KASIM, what I've seen from him, a wrestler, that's what he looks to do, as well as, what he done last night as well. He relies heavy on his wrestling, which has been like the story of your careers thus far. A lot of people have been trying to look to you now. So how do you kind of deal with the matchup of KASIM? I know you had Benjamin last time out, who was, a fantastic grappler. So talk to me about KASIM. How do you deal with his style?
I think Kasim's gonna. I think he's gonna focus on trying to level change and use that overhand he's got. Definitely with someone of his stature, he's definitely gonna look to blast like double legs and definitely look to load that right hand and try to hit me, especially because I'm taller than him.
Absolutely. What I feel like is going to be crucial in this, obviously in this fight, sorry, is the leg kicks and the kicks and being able to keep that distance. Is
Yeah.
it something that you've been preparing for as well in camp?
Just definitely pressure, make him tired, make him drown, make him carry that weight that he's got. Keep him at range, but really I want to drown him, like almost beat him at his own game.
Absolutely. And I'd love to talk about kind of, beating at his own games. I talked about, the last fight against Benjamin. He was in, an ADCC grappler test before KASIM because, you get that little mix of flavor before you get to KASIM, should we say.
It was good, man, fighting Benjamin. Definitely probably the biggest guy I've ever fought. Yeah, man, like apart from his cardio, like people don't understand that guy is like he's crazy athletic, he moves quick for his size. He's got a long reach, super long reach. Has good grappling, great grappling. He's won all his fights from first round submission. I was probably in the worst case scenario, like best case scenario for him. He had me in a full heel hook, and but I was calm. I knew what to do, and people forget. They say, "Oh, he's a great grappler, he's a great wrestler, he's a great striker." To these other guys, you got to remember this is MMA.
Exactly.
Wrestling is its own sport. Jiu-jitsu is its own sport. The rules are changed in MMA.
Exactly. And then what I felt like he did in that fight, as you talked about their composure, he did that in abundance. You look really good against, as we mentioned, a good grappler, ADC champion. He had all the accolades in grappling, but you held composed, and eventually you stopped him on the ground. Obviously, you got the ground and pound finish, and that's going to give you some added confidence heading into KASIM. Different style of grappler, but it gives you added confidence.
Yeah, for sure.
Obviously, you have power in your hands, and you showcase it all over, throughout your professional career already. Talk to me, about this fight, about this fight against KASIM. How do you see it getting done? You talked about pressure earlier. Is it, pinning him up against the fence? Firstly, he's going to look to pin you up against the fence. Is it make sure not taking a back step?
I'll take a back step. I'll meet him in the middle, wherever it takes. I don't mind. I'll go forward, I'll go backwards, side, left, right, lateral, up and down. I don't mind. I don't mind where it goes, As long as I say discipline in the fight, I'm good to go. He can win the first, second round, third round, but I'll get him in the last round, whatever it takes.
Absolutely. And how do you see yourself winning the fight? Is it just, as you mentioned there, by any means necessary, it seems like?
Any means necessary. Any means necessary. If he bleeds, I can kill it.
That was a brilliant line, by the way. That's really good. Training out of Fight Zone London, but obviously we mentioned there before we went on air. You were at Team Renegade, just came back from Birmingham. I'd love to talk about them rounds. Obviously, you mentioned there you trained, or mentioned before we went on air. You trained with Yannick Bahati. I've got the other name. Quickly slip down my head.
No, Yannick wasn't there. I was hoping for me. I was with. I did rounds with Fabian.
Yeah, Fabian.
And Natai Step Frederick.
Yeah, how are them rounds down at Team Renegade? Obviously, a really good gym. Really come to limelight, last few years. Obviously with Leon, Fabian, and stuff like that. So how was it good to get some round there?
It was good, man. It was good room, good attitude, positive. Everyone's trying to help each other get better. Good sparring, good positional sparring as well. It was good rounds with Nathais as well. Like we're working together, putting on pressure, not trying to beat each other up, just working together. So it was good.
How important is it? Do you feel like in MMA, is to explore and get different looks, and not feel so comfortable in your home gym? Is that important to you?
I think it's definitely important, especially when I was there. Like even though everyone was like, they weren't sparring crazy hard, I didn't feel like a target, but you still, because it's somewhere new, you still have that pressure. You're outside your comfort zone, and you need that. Fight MMA is about being comfortable, being uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
That's what it's all about.
Last question on the fight itself. On February 18th, you look to go 8-0 in your professional career. Every fight is important. Every fight, next one is important. The importance gets added on every time.
Of course.
But heading into this one, how does it feel? A defense of your LFL heavyweight championship. How important does this fight feel?
This is probably the most important fight. Every fight after is the most important. So right now, this is the most important fight of my career. But I've never taken my foot off the gas pedal. Every day, even after fights, I'm still training. Every day, my mind is focused on MMA. So I'm all in for this, man.
Absolutely. 2024 could start off with a fantastic start. Obviously, February 18th, you look to go 8-0. In an ideal world, Mario, how many run-outs would you like this year in 2024?
4.
Starting February. Talk to me about the schedule. What's that like? So one in summer, maybe.
So look, February, April, hopefully. So February, April. February, April, hopefully June, and then another in September.
Absolutely. And I have to ask about this because and you probably get asked about this all the time. But as a young heavyweight, I know there is promotions that probably have you on their shortlist all over the world, and there is probably one big one, the UFC.
Yeah.
How close does that feel? Because obviously you're 7-0, you're 25 years old, you're a heavyweight. Mario, you are a promotional's dream. It's incredible. You have loads of experience. You've had that championship experience outside the big promotions.
Yeah.
So you're a golden ticket for them. How close does that dream feel to get to the UFC or PFL, whatever you want, whatever you think your avenue is?
Man, it feels like it's getting there with time. With time, it feels close. But I don't really know when's the right time when you feel ready. But I am feeling more confident as I go by. But I'm taking it one fight at a time. The more experience I can get, the better. Because when I get into these top promotions, I'm there to be the apex predator. I'm not there to be food. I ain't no one's food there. When I go there, I'm not there to be anyone's food.
You are the predator. You are the hunter, should we say?
Yes, sir.
And I have no doubt that these big promotions have maybe probably talked to you already. I definitely feel like the UFC definitely have you on your radar because they have a fantastic scout and fantastic scout. And I presume the PFL do. I think the PFL Europe, PFL would be a perfect match for you, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely, man. I'm just keeping my options open and seeing what's the best thing for me. But I'm happy that there's more and more promotions for fighters out there to make a living. I think that's the most important thing, and it's getting better every day, and giving fighters a platform to really get exposure and grow their brand.
Completely agree. I also work for Octagon MMA as well, so if I can ever tempt you on MMA,
I got my coach fighting there soon, Stuart Austin.
Yeah, he's fighting in Newcastle. I shall be there. Will you be there?
Yeah, I'll be there for sure. Yeah, man.
Well, I will see you there. See you there. So I'll see you January 27th. Octagon MMA in Newcastle. Gonna be a great show. Little plug there. But looking at the UFC, looking at the PFL, looking at their top dogs, how do you see yourself matching up? Obviously not now. You said when you're ready. But how do you see yourself matching up potentially in 2, 3, 4, 5 years time?
I think I'm definitely going to be like a top prospect there and soon fighting for the belt, man. Going there with a style people haven't seen before, especially in the heavyweight division. I'm not going to be a massive heavyweight, but I'm going to be a diverse one, and have bring different tools to the fights.
You mentioned that you're not a massive heavyweight, but you're still quick. When you look at your stature, you're stocky. You're very tall. Yeah. I feel like you're a fantastic talent. Obviously, you showcased that. I feel like we just got to kind of get that right fight for them to approach you. And I think it's coming. I think it's coming 100%,
soon, man. 100%. Again, they got so many avenues to go through. You can go through the Contender Series.
That's it, man. Yeah. There is one fight that I wish he had got. Obviously, it fell through. That was against obviously the former UFC fighter Rafael. Obviously, I think he fell out. So that was the one fight. I felt like that was that fight that could have got you to them big leagues.
Yeah, I was really trying to get that. I was really trying to get that, man. I trained very hard for that fight, and then what was awkward was just like obviously the change of opponents. But I'm in this game to be the best, man. Whatever you put in front of me, I have to adapt.
Yeah, and I had a little bit inside information as well. I know there was another UFC heavyweight as well. I think his name was Braxton Smith. I know there was talks of him maybe fighting you, so that would have been a good one as well. But yeah, absolutely. Mario Pinto is fighting February 18th, NFL 11, NFA Heavyweight Championship, another defense of his title. It's going to be a fantastic show. Mario, I appreciate your time. Can't wait to watch it.